All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something you probably interact with every single day, but, might not realize the sheer depth of. Instead of just seeing mobile games as, well, little apps we tap on while waiting in line, we're going to look at what they really are: living, breathing, incredibly complex virtual economies. To show you just how real these digital economies can get, think about this wild story from the classic game Diablo 2. When in-game gold became way too common, meaning the game was basically suffering from massive hyperinflation, players just abandoned it. Seriously. They completely organically adopted a rare ring, the Stone of Jordan, as their brand new currency standard. It's absolutely fascinating because it perfectly illustrates how virtual worlds behave exactly like real-world economies. When scarcity and trust are there, the community thrives. When they vanish, the whole system just collapses. So, to see how developers actually manage this delicate balance, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the Mobile Economy Balancing Act, then look at managing in-game resource flow. From there, we'll dive into designing rewarding player progression, tackle monetization without the friction, and finally wrap up with future trends, specifically hybrid casual models. Let's see how all these pieces fit together into a perfect symbiosis. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the Mobile Economy Balancing Act, specifically looking at retention versus monetization. Now, I want to highlight this massive 45% figure right out of the gate. When looking at casual mobile game economy balancing features, just like in the real world, balance is literally everything. If a game pushes monetization way too hard, frustrated players are going to bounce. But if it doesn't monetize enough, well, the studio goes under. However, games that actually find that sweet spot, balancing the experience fairly for both the paying players and the free ones, they see up to 45% higher long-term retention. Basically, a fair economy is a profitable economy. Moving right along to Section 2, managing in-game resource flow. Let's look at the actual engine of the economy. Every single virtual economy essentially runs on managing the flow between two things: sources and sinks. It's a really delicate macroeconomic balancing act. Think of it like this. If your sources are way too generous, players get too rich. That leads to inflation, and ultimately, they just get bored. On the flip side, if your sinks are too aggressive and drain resources too fast, progressing feels totally impossible, and players will turn out just from pure frustration. So how do they regulate this? Developers usually rely on a dual currency system. First, you have soft currency. This is what drives the core gameplay loop. It's what you earn just by playing, and it keeps you engaged day to day. Then you have hard currency. This is the premium, heavily gated stuff used to basically speed up your progress. Decoupling these two things is an absolute game changer because it allows developers to strictly control inflation, all while keeping the game completely accessible for the free-to-play users. That brings us to Section 3, designing rewarding player progression. This is basically the psychology engine. And honestly, for a game to truly succeed, its progression, rewards, monetization, and retention all have to be completely intertwined. To really keep players hooked, resource availability has to constantly evolve. Think about your own experience. Early on, say the first week, the game absolutely showers you with soft currency to build those daily habits and, well, make you feel super powerful. But by the mid-game, weeks 2 through 8, that shifts. You have to start making complex resource management decisions and strategic choices. And once you finally hit that late game, month 3 and beyond, your progression relies on these intricate mechanics where the focus shifts heavily toward premium currency, just because the demands of the game increase so much. Now, to map to that timeline, games use a whole bunch of reward structures, right? Daily logins, missions, battle passes, randomized gacha mechanics, limited time events, the whole shebang. But developers have to be incredibly careful of something called reward cannibalization. Imagine you log in and you get coins from a daily login, a mission, a pop-up ad, and a special event, literally all at the exact same time. The coins just start to feel like background noise. Stocking way too many overlapping rewards completely devalues the entire system. A really clever solution to that exact problem is real-time locked resources. Take this monthly free rune removal day event from Summoner's War as an example. By taking a highly valuable economic action and constraining it to a very specific 24-hour window, developers can drive a massive, highly predictable spike in engagement. And the best part, they do it without permanently inflating the broader game economy. Underlying all of these event structures is a seriously powerful psychological principle: loss aversion. Basically, this is a cognitive bias where the pain of losing something feels psychologically twice as intense as the pleasure of gaining it. This is exactly why streak events, where your rewards multiply for consecutive wins, and daily logins work so well. Human beings absolutely dread losing the progress they've already invested their precious time into building. Okay, moving right into section 4, monetization without the friction. Let's see how games actually make money without annoying us. We are currently seeing a massive industry shift away from those punishing hard paywalls. I mean, consider this, 47% average day 30 return on ad spend for casual iOS games. That number is huge. It highlights just how incredibly lucrative a well-balanced, friction-free economy can be. Modern players are absolutely willing to spend, for sure, but only if the monetization feels like a supportive enhancement, rather than, an exploitative roadblock. So, how do they actually remove that friction? Well, developers are getting creative. They're integrating non-intrusive audio ads so you can keep playing without those annoying visual interruptions. They're also letting players buy temporary remove ads features with in-game soft currency instead of real hard cash. And they're providing highly customizable in-app purchase bundles. This is brilliant because it gives players the agency to pick exactly what they want, rather than forcing them into some rigid preset package. Finally, let's look at where all this is heading in Section 5. Future trends, specifically hybrid casual models. Let's see how this builds on literally everything we've talked about today. The hybrid casual model is basically taking the industry by storm right now by combining the absolute best parts of different genres. Take a game like Archero, for instance. It gives players the immediate, super easy-to-learn fun of a hyper-casual game, but then it layers that over a really deep, long-term economic ecosystem. We're talking mid-core meta progression, gear upgrades, and nicely blended ad and purchase revenue. It's a really smart way to balance quick accessibility with deep, long-term economic retention. At the end of the day, a beautifully balanced game economy doesn't just support the game. In many ways, it is the game. So I want to leave you with this provocative question to chew on the next time you open up your favorite mobile app. Are you playing just for fun? Or has the game's meticulously crafted virtual economy successfully captured your psychological investment? Because ultimately, lasting player trust is really the only metric of success that truly matters. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time.